to TV Burp. Cliff Richard buys new tour bus. X Factor's McDonald's Brothers relaunch for 2007. And it's so important when delivering an insult to make it as specific as possible.
Come on, we're leaving. We're not coming back.
Happy now, you child-hating arsonist?
On Dancing on Ice, the injuries continue to mount up.
Yeah, what is the injury list this week?
Oh, we've still got ribs, we've got back, we've got head.
Got my eyes, got my nose, got my mouth, got my smile. Ah, poor Kay Burley, though. She got a black eye from a fancy stunt. I think maybe she was being a little too ambitious.
She's a little shaken.
And you've got to get up and you've got to skate on, haven't you?
Yeah, no, we both actually said after that, we looked at each other and we both said, you've got to get back on that horse.
A horse? On ice skates? You gotta hang a regular skating before you try skating on a horse. Okay? Duncan from Blues doing well, particularly when you consider that he's only got one hand. He seemed to have really hit it off with action man Jason Gardner, though.
Strictly ballroom on ice, and you performed it beautifully, and your leg up the back was very nice. Thank you, James.
Dirty boy! And didn't Christina Lenko look lovely in that plunging top?
Well done, Stephen. Our St. Patrick's Day baby says his biggest trouble is stopping. So we've locked all the doors. Well, how did he concentrate with Christina in that fantastic costume?
Because, like, he's gay? Do your research, mate. I do feel a little embarrassed at the start of ice dancing when Jane Torville displays her giant pants. You know those pants she wears with a really high waistband? Well, this Saturday, I didn't know where to look. I really didn't. Well, hey! Is it over yet, Mum? Claire Buckfield led us into the secret behind how she copes with those rapid rotations.
Is it true that you are on motion sickness pills when you go around there?
Travel sickness tablets, yeah, to learn the lift, yeah, because he spins me so fast.
Yeah, travel sickness tablets. Yeah. Here's what happens if she forgets to take them. Time for the results of our poetry competition now. And this week's winner goes to Trial and Retribution.
What'd you do with the tin?
I put it in the bin.
Nick Baker's back with these weird creatures. And what are you after this week, Nick?
The giant, saggy-skinned frog of Lake Titicaca.
The giant, saggy-skinned frog, for which he travels to Lake Titicaca, where the air is a bit thin.
I'm something like 2 miles up here in the Bolivian Andes. Now, at this height, the air is so thin that just walking around the camera is exhausting.
Well, don't walk around the camera, then. Could have done that bit lying down. But he wouldn't be Nick Baker if he didn't have any difficulty tracking the giant, saggy-skinned frog down. Hey, Nick, what's that in the water?
There's not an awful lot of life in evidence. And I just found a dead fish.
Oh. A dead fish. What about over there, look?
Then, frogs at last.
Great. It's a frog.
But they're dead.
It's dead, yeah. So far, then, you've travelled 7,500 miles and found one dead fish and one dead frog. You'd better try another part of the lake. Look at the smoke coming out of that. No wonder all the frogs are dead. Show us something, anything, that might still be breathing.
Oh, look at that.
Moves like a wren, lives in the rushes, the wren-like rush bird. Perfect name. I can hear him making a ticking noise. It sounds just like someone running their thumbnail across the teeth of a plastic cone. Like that.
Oh, Nick, it's just me running my thumbnail over a plastic comb. Sorry to disappoint. EastEnders now, and it was Sorry Week on the square.
I want you to know I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
I owe you the biggest apology in the world. I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry.
We're all sorry, Martin.
But Stella's sorry came with a little on the side.
You were right about Sonia Fowler all along.
Is that your attempt at an apology?
Yes. And it comes with eggs.
Her apology comes with eggs. Stella's got a new phone. It's one of those dual-purpose ones. Not only can you get calls on it, you can drink your tea out of it as well.
Oh, hello. Got some nice roast chicken.
The Martin and Sonia fallout showed no signs of abating.
And you wonder why I want to run away?
Right, yeah, because I'm really stupid, and I, son. I mean, all I ever wanted was a wife. I mean, you didn't know. You couldn't make your mind up whether you wanted to play your trumpet or read a book or be a lesbian.
It can't be good for little Rebecca, can it? So Doc bought her a dolly to cheer her up.
What are you two giggling about?
Mummy made Chantel wee.
Oh.
You are funny.
The Chantel doll, yes. They brought out a whole range of celebrity Big Brother dolls. And my favourite is the walking, talking Jade Goody doll. Yeah, off you go, love.
I'm not a racist. 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 I'm not a racist.
Despite the differences, there seems to be a telepathy between Martin and Sonia. It's almost as if she knows what he's thinking.
Rebecca, I'm so sorry. Yes, I know, I messed up. I always do.
I don't know about you, but the kids on EastEnders these days seem to be as nasty as the adults.
Can I get you two anything?
Like what?
Drink something to eat.
Get us some comics and a DVD to watch. A new one.
There are better ways to ask for things now.
Just do it.
It's almost as if they're working on a spin-off show, Junior EastEnders. Coming up on Junior EastEnders, Peggy loses a rag.
I've just had enough of you, Pat. You're barred. You ain't had the last of
Martin and Sonia decide to patch it up.
Yes, I know I messed up, the same as I always do.
Phil Mitchell and Stella fall out.
Hang on a minute, Phil, I'll be just a tick.
On Junior EastEnders. But in a busy inner-city area like Walford, the local paper is fairly important, isn't it? For people to keep in touch with what's going on. He's reading it. She's reading it.
No more police, no
He's
more
reading it. But compare that with a rural community like our Emmerdale. He's reading it. He's reading it. She's reading it. He's reading it. He's reading it. He's reading it. He's reading it. She's reading it. She's reading it. He's reading it. He's reading it. She's reading it. She's reading it. He's reading it. Oh. And he's in it. Everyone's reading it. But which is better, the Houghton Courier or the Walford Gazette? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Go on, Houghton Courier! Burp. Injured bag on casualty. Visit stock. Emmerdale's Jack Sugden upset that Posh has gone to LA.
Victoria! Victoria!
And Kay Burley rehearses her new routine for Dancing on Ice. For those of you who missed Who Do You Think You Are on BBC Two last year, where celebrities trace their family trees, you might be interested in a new series on ITV1, You Don't Know You're Born, which is the same. This week... There it is. This week they followed Alan Davis, who traced his family tree all the way back to when he used to be Leo Sayer. Of course not. No, he traced himself back all the way to his great-great-grandfather. I myself recently found out that my great-great-grandfather was, in fact, Victorian. First up, Alan's off to prepare the same meal his great-grandfather did for his old Freemason friends.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, that's all right.
Are you chefs?
Yeah.
Who, us? In the chef's hats, chef's uniforms, cooking, in a kitchen. No, we're plumbers, but it was the only thing in the wardrobe that was clean. He meets up with his great-great-grandfather's old Masonic lodge, and they're a secretive bunch.
It's true to say that we're a secret society. We have secrets, but some of them are restricted to only inside the lodge itself. But there are lots of things that we can tell the ordinary public.
But even your own families don't know, do they?
Oh yes, indeed. Oh, they do. Oh yes. Oh yes. Not the secrets, no.
You know the secret? I can't tell you it's a secret. It's a secret that you know the secret, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out that the big secret about the Freemasons is there aren't any secrets. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. Alan successfully arranges the meal, but first they have to say grace.
Brethren, sing grace. All these and all my mercies.
Yeah, sing one we know. Which brings me to our TV highlight of the week.
TV highlight of the week. Morning.
Here, hasn't Chris Evans let himself go since Billy left?
Still 100.
It's Coronation Street, and Sean's back. Where you been, Sean?
Muchas gracias, amigo. Mantequilla, sábado, servieta.
Well, at least give us a clue, Sean. He's not the only one who's back. Tracy's out of prison, and Deirdre's made her a lovely welcome home tea.
Tracy, sit down, eat your dinner.
A fillet of fish. A welcome home. Weren't even any chips on it, were there? All that little sachet of tartar sauce. Unless she's already put it on the filet and disposed of the empty sachet. Elsewhere, Jason has a new addition. But sadly, there'll be no baby for Hayley and Roy due to, how shall I put it, for the pre-watershed audience, well, 2 postmen, but sadly, no letterbox. It's a shame. She certainly has a way with babies.
Oh, what's your darling? What's your do? It's okay. That's it.
How'd you do that? Yeah, how does Hayley do that? Let's have another look.
Darling, what's your do?
Ah, bless. Ray Mears and his sidekick Gordon signed off their series with a trip to the woodlands. And straight away, Ray was off eating weeds and anything he could get his hands on.
What you have to look for is this dark reddy brown colour like that one, when they turn really soft and squidgy. Oh, that's really nice. Beautiful eating. Really nice.
Nice. A little bit bitter, but... Let's swallow... Oh, another one. Just swallow that down. Lovely.
Quite delicious, but it's very important to spit out the seeds because they contain cyanide.
You don't want to eat too many berries, though. Might spoil your dinner.
We're going to heat rocks in the fire until they're red hot and then add them to the mush.
Yeah, no, it's actually likened quite a lot.
We know that this method was used in other parts of the world, and it will be an interesting experiment.
Doesn't look very appetising, does it?
I don't know. Brown mush with some hot rocks in it. Rocks might be a bit chewy, but...
Well, there you have it. A very successful experiment. That is a delicious meal.
No, it isn't. That's the main course. What's for pudding, Ray?
Although it's very messy, we are getting most of the juice, most of the stones, with the odd one escaping. Gordon's picking those out. But most of the juice is going into this bowl.
Shouldn't you be at work? It is a rather long and messy process, but it's worth it. Just look at the result.
Now, that fruit jelly can be sliced and laid out in the sun on mats to dry into a hard fruit leather, and then that can be stored long term.
Yeah, anything but eat it. Naturally, Ray had some that he'd made earlier.
And that's what it looks like when it's been sliced and dried. In fact, this is 3 years old.
Yeah, he's had it for 3 years and he still hasn't eaten it. So, what's it taste like?
That's beautiful. It's the nearest thing to a sweet from a sweet shop.
Yes, it's fruit gum.
Fruit gum. The Rainier Sweet Range. There's the fruit gums. I like the black fruit gums myself. Oh, it's a brown one. It's a brown one. They're all brown ones. Then there's the Rainier's version of the walnut whip, which is similar to a walnut whip, but with a conker on top. Then there's the sherbet dib-dab, which is a stick with a conker on in a bag of dirt. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you're missing the point. The idea is that this is the sort of food they used to eat in Mesolithic times.
It's still as good as it was 3 years ago. Yeah. We've got no evidence that this was done in the past.
It's basically just two men playing camps, isn't it? I'm going to miss Ray, though. Although I did think at the farewell barbecue, Ray was a little bit rude about his faithful companion, Gordon.
I've invited some friends who've also helped us over the years in some of the projects to come and sample some of the delights of this boar.
That's a bit harsh.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, Harry. Have you ever had that thing where the top half of your body knows that it's sitting in a pub?
But the bottom half thinks it's sitting at a potter's wheel.
Yes, it's the jewel in the soap crown, Emmerdale. Hooray! And there was something of a first for Emmerdale this week. We got our first sighting of Zap Dingle's hair. It's Captain Haddock off Tintin. The witch hunt of Billy Hotwood continued apace. He killed Viv's ex-husband Vic, so everyone's out to get him. It reminded me of the story of the ugly duckling.
Get out of town.
Get out! Get out!
Get out of here. So we went with the quack and the waddle. Well, you get the idea with that. Shadrach was feeling frisky.
Nice top, love it. Look even better on my bedroom floor.
Yeah, get lost.
Yeah, nice chat-up line, that one. Yeah. He's got a book of them, look. Yes. The Shadrach Book of Chat-Up Lines. Let's have a look. So, to a girl with a nice top, that's a nice top, but it would look better on the floor in my bedroom. Well, we've had that one. If I said you had a beautiful body, I would technically be breaking the conditions of my parole. And my favourite, have you ever been with a tramp before? Shadrach, if you're watching, you should take a tip out of Dev off Corrie's book.
What can I get for you?
Rabbit. I can highly recommend the Welsh rabbit. Just have one myself. It's delicious.
Yeah, the Welsh rabbit's nice. How'd you fancy coming back to my place for some cheese on toast? Hey, you fancy sniffing your cheesy feet? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Shadrach!
Horny, horny, horny. I'm horny, 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 horny. So horny, 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 horny. Horny tonight, I like you. I like you. And I'm horny, horny, horny. Horny tonight.
Just calm down, Shadrach. See you next week.